living my 80s, I hope. And I've been asked about my bread, and so I thought I would tell you a little bit. This will probably be done in sections because I don't want the videos to be too long. But I'll go ahead and read you a recipe. But first of all, I want to talk about some of the grains. And I know that we are told right now that corn is the very best grain there is. Wait just a minute. I wrote down some things that I wanted to share. Okay. But all of the ancient grains really have benefit, and they are all the best. They're just all a little bit different. So in the bread that I'm making right now, I start out using the corn, and it mostly is corn. Now I have ordered some kamut, and when I get that, I'll be putting all three grains because they all have some good points that I want to blend into my bread. And then this is my corn grain in here, and I have wait just a minute. If I could bring here, I'll just. Anyway, it's a much smaller than wheat. I don't know if you can see that, but it's much smaller than wheat, and it is the old wheat. What we have now is man has gone in and tried to make it better, which always makes it worse. So then the other thing that I have for convenience is a flour, and it's spelt, and that again is an ancient bread. Now I'm going to tell you just a little bit about them. When I looked up kamut, it says it's healthy for digestion, antioxidant, has a lot of good antioxidant effects. It's heart healthy, it lowers our cholesterol. All of them talked about it cut our risk for cancer, it helped in diabetes, and so forth. One thing that's spelt, when I looked up that, it talked about it helped prevent gallstones. And then in corn, what it talked about was it helped with eye diseases because it has a very high lutein content in its grain. Selenium kamut is really the star of selenium. And selenium would help people with muscular dystrophy. It's something that we have to have. And I don't know if you have livestock and you live where there's white muscle, you're very aware of selenium and how important it is. And it's not just for our farm animals, it's for us too. So it really shines in that. Spelt is really high in magnesium. So if you were able to put those together, you'd really have a good slice of bread. And so it's not that one is really better than the other, they're all good. So use whatever you have, but it's more important that you use the ancient grains. But when you go to make a loaf of bread, and this is what took me so long, is they don't act the same as the flour we're used to making. They're stickier. They don't absorb the water as fast, but they do finally absorb it. And if you get it where it's not sticky at first, and then later on you wind up with this dry loaf of bread, and you don't want to do that. So anyway, I'm going to read the recipe. I'll print it in the description, what I've been using, and when you see me do it, I'll have some changes. But the recipe was 1 cup of warm water, 2 teaspoons of active dry yeast, 1 tablespoon of honey, a half a cup of white flour, which I use the Eichhorn, and 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 2 teaspoons of salt, and up to 4 cups of the rest of your flour. I've never put 4 cups in. So I'm going to just end with that part and wait for part 2, and we'll start putting it together, and you'll see that I make some changes. And because I have taken a class and am taking a class on bread making from Carolyn Thomas at Homesteady Family, and she put in the missing pieces for me so that now I can make my bread out of all ancient grains, and it's a good bread, and it's a moist bread. So I'm going to let you go with that. Just hang on. On Friday or the next video, you'll see how I put the bread together and some of the tips and techniques that will really make it work. Okay, have a good day, and I'll leave you with giving thanks always. We want to give thanks. We want to be grateful. Giving thanks always.